Hello and welcome. It's a new year and we are glad you could join us on the very first edition of Eyewitness Report in the year 2022. I am Yomi Otaigbe. Occupants of Yaba Industrial Estate were mainly small and medium-scale entrepreneurs ended the year 2021 on a sad note. They've not only been evicted from the estate, their properties have also been demolished, leaving them shattered and helpless. That's our lead story. Welcome to the program. The signboard mounted at the entrance of Yaba Industrial Estate indicates the proposed site for Lagos State Kite Initiative, an acronym for Knowledge, Innovation, Technology and Entrepreneurship. Behind the gate are piles of rubble from the demolition of over 40 buildings that once housed the activities of industrialists. These rubble leave behind sad stories of how their places of business operation were destroyed within hours on the 16th of December 2021. The demolition was allegedly carried out by officials of the Lagos State Ministry of Physical Planning and Urban Development by way of forcefully evicting them.
I was there personally and we were inside the block working. We just came, we saw people running into our estate. Then we called our security man to lock the gate for us. That's who are they and where are they coming from? What is happening again? And the man got to the gate and found out that they did not allow him to lock the gate. We had a truck of caterpillar. We had a truck parking in front of the gate with a caterpillar on top of the truck. And our gate was taken over by so many policemen. I don't know whether they are, mobile police. So many of them. And we asked them, what is the problem? They told us that they have been sent on an errand. Then we had two people in the unit there. And I asked them that, please, where are you from? They told me that I should ask the police, I should talk to the police. I said, I don't have any business to do with police. Police must have come here to maintain peace, if that is their work. And if they are not here to maintain peace, you people should let us know where you are coming from and who sent you. And the next thing we saw is that they just opened our gate and they brought in their caterpillar and they took it through our road down to block 6. And they started demolishing our unit.
I was shocked because I normally go out to look for businesses. So I just received a distress call that my unit, which is Unit 6, is being destroyed. I have machines that are heavy equipment. They are polars, a lot of them are there. My admin office, everything, computer, everything, it was totally destroyed.
The estate is one of the first industrial areas built by the federal government for small and medium entrepreneurs before it was transferred to the Lagos State government. With a plan by successive governments to upgrade the facility, there's been need to relocate the occupants. But both parties have been at loggerheads after the move to relocate them to Imota in Ikorodu failed. The occupants allege that the state government has failed to fulfill its promise of relocating them.
Before Ambode came, we actually had the dignity of the visit of the preceding governor, Governor Fashola. Governor Fashola came here, inspected the place, and we held a meeting right at this same spot. And Governor Fashola promised us that this place will be renovated, that he will even, because he recognizes the importance of the numerous jobs we are creating and our contribution to the economy, he will provide us with a private power on this estate. Therefore, what they are going to do is they will relocate us to Imota. And they have acquired land that we should have entertained no fear. When we saw no, at that time, we were even taken to Imota. They showed us the Imota place which they said they would develop. And they even showed us a prototype of the structures they intend to build at Imota. And we became very confident. Many of us started borrowing money to buy new equipment, hoping to go to Imota to expand our businesses and continue with our jobs. But suddenly, the Ibile people came and said we should get out, that the place has been considered to them. And we told them that we are aware that the government said they have considered to you. But the government also told us that we shall not be disturbed here until we have been relocated to Imota.
They gave us notices in October, November, and those notices came from Ministry of Planning, Physical Planning, that this place is, the structures are illegal structures. We have copies of all these things. They said they are illegal structures. They came to mark this place. So we got up, the executive got up, we wrote a letter through our lawyer. We delivered it in their operation department. We delivered it to the Commissioner for Physical Planning, and they received it to let them know that these places, even if they want to take over this place is an environment of litigation. We have a matter in court, and all agencies have been asked to please maintain status quo until the matter is resolved.
At the time of filming, some tenants are concluding the movement of their factory equipment. Young entrepreneur Itunuoluwa Okusami has been running his business here since 2015, providing jobs for the youths. With the demolition of his operational base, his means of livelihood is threatened.
Personally, I cannot quantify the damage at the moment. Like financial wise, I can't quantify the damage, but physically, like I'm actually drained now, But business wise, like it's a calamity. Because when it happened, I was not around then. They called me. When they called me, I got here, I wanted to enter the premises. Because my unit is actually the first unit. So as we got here, the bulldozer had entered already. The policeman refused me entry. When I wanted to enter, I was telling them that, please, I want to come and rescue my property. The guy said, no, there is no entry. Nobody can enter the premises. He actually beats me and stuff until a woman came to bail me out. So when I finally entered the place, I could not rescue anything.
The lawyer representing the displaced occupants explains the status of the case being heard in the court.
Presently, the matter is before my Lord Justice Ogungbeson. Prior to that, it was before Justice Onigbanjo, who gave an order that parties should maintain status quo. You see, it is so sad that Lagos State Government, the Ministry of Justice, Lagos State Ministry of Justice and Lagos State Government, who had submitted themselves to the jurisdiction of the court, and while the matter is still ongoing before a court of competent jurisdiction, will still have the guts to go ahead and demolish the property, even when there is an express order of the High Court that parties should maintain status quo. No judgment has been delivered in this matter. However, on the 16th of December 2021, the day they came to commit this atrocity, there was an ongoing matter in court. At the time they were committing this atrocity, Lagos State took these people to court, and we are there defending them. And they left us there, came here to commit this atrocity. It's disheartening that they could do this to citizens who they swore to an oath to protect their lives and property. Because naturally, we had a meeting with the fiscal planning, who told us in their office that we need to write to them a letter. I said, well, we've informed Lagos State, the Ministry of Justice. They are aware. We had meeting with the head of civil litigation in Lagos State. I can't remember his name now. We had meeting with they had meeting with the Solicitor General too. And at a point, they made a proposal for more like an out-of-court settlement, that they are ready to pay a sum of 1 million naira each to all the tenants, the occupiers of this place. Okay, well, they said no, they won't accept that amount. So, okay, we wrote a letter to Lagos State requesting on behalf of our client that they should increase that amount to 3 million. We are still on that discussion when they came to do this.
To seek clarification on the matter and verify the claims of these aggrieved occupants, we meet the Lagos State Commissioner for Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Motosho.
The question, who owns the land?
He approaches the questions first from the basis of land ownership.
The land belongs to the government. The people who were occupying the land before the demolition of the structures there, they agreed that the government owns the land. So if the government owns the land and the government says, I want to use my land, there is no question about whether you have to leave or not. But the government said, well, even as this is our land, we will not leave you to your own devices. We will give you compensation. We will pay you some money so that you can move, and then we give you time to move. And then they had meetings with them. And the industrialists, they started giving all manner of incredible figures that they will want to collect as compensation. Some are talking about 25 million, others are talking about 5 million. But the government said, hey, you guys are tenants. And apart from the fact that you are tenants, you've not been paying. There are some of them who have not paid for the past 3 years. And the highest paying tenant in that place was paying about 75,000. And the government said, okay, 75,000 times a year and all of that, 750,000, let us give it a round figure. We'll give each and every one of you 1 million. After collecting 1 million, you can move, and the government can turn the place into an ICT hub, which is going to provide thousands of jobs for our young people, including your own children. But they were adamant. And they went to court, as you have said. But let me correct the impression that after the court had said there was the status quo should be maintained, that the government went in there to demolish the place. No.
The government spokesman argues that the court order does not affect the demolition, adding that it was done to avoid health and environmental hazards.
The court matter didn't affect physical planning ministry. It was no party to the matter in court. The court matter was about whether they should be evacuated from the place or not. And despite that, they were served demolition notices. In fact, the first notice was about evacuation. And when they didn't leave the place, they were now served demolition notice before the demolition. And why the demolition? The government went there and saw that the kind of structures there, that they were not even fit to be called factories. No drainage, dirty environment, and in a place where you say you are manufacturing consumer goods such as water, you don't have drainage, the place is dirty. I mean, it's not good enough for that kind of business. If you look at the photographs of the building, we have the photographs of the buildings there before they were brought down. They were not fit for human habitation, nor were they fit for the kind of businesses that they said they were doing there. Businesses such as producing water. You can't produce water in an environment where you don't have drainage. You can't produce water in an environment where everything is smelly, where, it's in a place like no gutters that are good. And apart from that, the Ministry of Physical Planning got calls that the buildings there could collapse. And considering what we had just had in Ikoyi, the government felt we can no longer have on our hands another disaster. So the government moved in there and saw that the buildings had structural defects, and they had to bring them down. The question of relocating them is still on the cards. Government is not going to just lead them to their own devices, and it's not as if government took the easier option. It's not so. It's according to their demand. They were asking for compensation. They still spoke about relocation too. But government told them that right away, that's not possible. If we are going to relocate you, it's going to take some time. The place has to be fixed. The place has to be made habitable for you. And then we can begin to talk about moving you. But right now, considering what we're seeing here, you guys have to move. Because, look at that kind of place. In the kind of a greater Lagos that we are talking about, you have that kind of space in Yaba.
In spite of the disagreement between the Lagos state government and the aggrieved occupants of Yaba Industrial Estate, the commissioner says the door of dialogue is not shut against them.
The door is always open. They have access to the Attorney General, who is heading a committee comprising the Ministry of Justice and then Ministry of Science and Technology. So the door is open for them to come in. Ibilo Holdings too is also part of that committee. So they have access to the committee to meet members of the committee and then state, whatever case they have. Like I told you, they are Lagosians, they are business people, they are business promoters. So we are not going to just do something that will make them to be depressed. So they can come in at any time, and if we make suggestions for now, they could be settled.
Mr. Gbenga Omotosho says the development of a permanent industrial park in Imota, Ikorodu is ongoing, promising that the project will be completed soon.